Today I have 10, count them, 10 camera moves that you, if you are a filmmaker, should remember. These are unique camera moves with specific purposes behind them. You're not gonna learn this stuff in film school. You're only gonna learn it right here in my channel. And the way that I do that is I show you these techniques, show you the purpose behind them, and then I give them a name. Because if you're anything like me, you are dumb and can't remember things. I swear to you, I cannot for the life of me remember a single movie quote besides Cannonball from Anchorman. So hopefully this series helps you to remember these camera moves when you're storyboarding and coming up with shots for your next film. First off, we have this shot from the movie Black Panther, where Killmonger takes the throne of Wakanda. The camera starts upside down and then slowly pushes forward, spinning as it goes, until it finally ends on Killmonger on the throne in an upright position. I think they used this specific camera move to convey the feeling that something is off kilter or something is wrong with Wakanda at this point in time, and I think it worked, especially with the music. Now you might think you need something like a techno crane to be able to pull this camera move off, but I'll show you this as a camera move I got with a Sony a7S III, and I just handheld. This isn't even on a gimbal. Use some stabilization in post and you're good to go. And the name I gave this camera move is the upside down flippy dolly, because it starts upside down and then it dollies and it flips. This move I found in the movie Cape Fear, although I am sure it is not the first time this has been used. So if you happen to know when this move first appeared, please let me know in the comments. But this is a very similar shot to the upside down flippy dolly, except for instead of dollying while it flips, it just flips, no dolly. This also gives a sense of uneasiness in the viewer, but can also be used to just kind of give an ambiguous sense of space. In this shot, Robert De Niro is hanging upside down, and so when the camera starts on him, you think he's right side up, but it's actually upside down, and then it flips, and then up is down and down is up. And you might think I would call this the upside down flippy since it's so similar to the upside down flippy dolly, but no, there's no consistency and no logic here on this channel. I call this one the spinaroo. This shot I found in the movie Scanners, and it's simply when a camera moves around a table in a circular fashion, revealing characters as it goes. Honestly, this camera move just makes sense if you have a round table, but it can also be used to reveal certain characters at certain points in the story. And because I am such a genius at coming up with names, I named this the round table shot. I found this camera move in the movie 8½, near the beginning of the film, when most of what the camera is doing is just showing establishing shots, but a way to spice that up a little bit is to start the crane up on a wide shot and then just crane it down into a close-up. This changes the perspective quite a lot and is also a very interesting way to reveal a character. I call this the down-up. Not because it starts down and then goes up, no. Not because it starts up and then goes down. That would make too much sense. If that was the case, I would call it the up down, but no, it's the down up because it goes down into a close up. This shot is from the movie La La Land, and it starts at this pool party scene where the cameraman jumps into the pool and then slowly starts spinning clockwise. The spin then gets faster and faster and faster until it's just a huge blur like he's in the middle of a tornado. I think this gives a real sense of anxiety and not knowing what's going on around you, and in this scenario it kind of puts you in the same shoes as Emma Stone's character was when she went to this party. Obviously, I call this one the tornado. Oh, and would you look at that, it's not actually a cameraman who jumped into the pool, it's actually, according to American Cinematographer, a hydro head mounted on a Linearm 2 Plus that spun at a constant rate in the water, and I'm assuming they sped that up in post and edited it together with the fireworks shot. I found this shot in The Haunting, and it's a simple way to make your shot look like it's coming from the perspective of a ghost. These characters are in a house that they believe to be haunted, and this shot comes from the perspective of one of the proposed ghosts. And the way that we know that is because it shakes unnaturally. If this was from a human perspective, it wouldn't shake like this. It's almost like it's floating, and that's why I call this shot the spooky shot. This shot will make your films look more like a documentary because it is quite unmotivated. Here we see Leonardo DiCaprio's character walk into the White House, and presumably it is his first time walking into the White House, and so he is taking everything in, including the paintings on the wall, and that is emphasized by this camera move where the cameraman just seems to pan over to the painting and then pan back. He does this multiple times, and it really gives a feeling that there is an actual cameraman there, almost like this is a documentary. This also emphasizes what Leonardo was looking at, so if you need to emphasize a specific object in the scene, this might be the way to do it. I call this the looky-loo. Euphoria has some great cinematography, and this camera move is no exception. Here we see Kat writing smut in her bathroom when all of a sudden the camera just starts to truck to the right. It passes through a wall, and there she is again in her bedroom, and then it passes through another wall, and there she is again in the library. This is an excellent way to not only look interesting, but also to pass time and show a sequence of events in a very condensed space. All you really need for this is a wall. Just film an actor in one situation and then move the camera past that wall, and then just redo that in another location, and you can stitch it in post. I call this a dollhouse because it looks like you're just taking a camera and moving it across a dollhouse. This shot I found in the movie No Country for Old Men, and it's when the camera starts on a single and then dollies backwards into an over-the-shoulder shot. And you might say, well, that's just a dolly move, Kevin. There's no need to give it a specific name. Well, you'd be wrong because it has a specific idea behind it. It's not just a dolly for the dolly's sake. I call it the over-the-sholly. And then finally, we have this wonderful camera move from the movie Nostalgia, directed by Andrei Tarkovsky. And if you know anything about Andrei Tarkovsky, you'll know that he is a genius at dream sequences. And that's exactly where we find ourselves in this scene. And the reason we can tell that we're in a dream sequence is because the camera shows these three characters, and then as it moves to the right, it shows them again without cutting. And you've probably had this happen in one of your dreams before, where someone is one place and then they're all of a sudden in a completely different location that they physically could not possibly be in, or maybe they change into another person or something. And this unedited stream of consciousness perfectly represents that. Now, I'm not sure how they did this. I don't know if it was some tricky editing or if the characters just ran around the camera from the back once the camera passed them. I guess we'll never know. But I named this technique the Tarkovsky slide because it is the only time I've ever seen this from a Tarkovsky movie. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope me explaining these and giving them names helped you to remember them when you are making your next film. Please like and subscribe if you want more of these, because I have like at least 20 more that I could do. Follow me on TikTok if you haven't already, and tell me what your favorite camera move is down in the comments that I just showed. And if you have any unique camera moves that you know of that you want to give a name to, also like do that or put it in the comments or something like that too, I guess. I hope together we can all build a positive and fun filmmaking community that helps each other become better filmmakers and stuff. And that's because that would be cool.